This Week at the Farm.
Hello and welcome to This Week at the Farm.
I'm Molly Elwood. I am a small family farm owner. I have 10 cows, 13 chickens, 708 dogs that we farm for meat, and a gerbil named Percy.
Don't want to know. I'm Jake Yep. I'm a veterinarian and smallholder, and this is the podcast that tells you all about our life as farmers.
What are we talking about this week?
Dog balloons.
I'm excited about this.
Very exciting new innovation. Also, fantastic news on subsidies for you, I believe. And anemic vegans take note. Landon could not be more opposite to you.
This Week at the Farm.
Let's just start with the fun. Dog balloons. Most fun
Right.
ever. You and I have found a way, and because I think we'll probably have to patent it. We can't really go into the hows, but we found a way to mechanically extract the meat from dogs, leaving the skins almost completely intact.
It's so weird, and I can't believe you came up with it, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
So the eyes shut, it becomes one thing.
Yeah. So the lips shut and the eyes shut, and the nose, of course. And you have this pretty much airtight. I mean, you can work out how and where we inflate it. We sort of tested because we found this mechanical recovery means it works extremely well. And just out of curiosity, you had an air compressor. So we thought, well, let's see how airtight it is. And suddenly we have these beautiful balloons.
Right. It's interesting because it is like, we wonder how waterproof skin is. It's so waterproof, which means it's also airproof.
Exactly.
And you can do that little, the squeaky
You can make the
squeak.
noise and
yeah. With the,
Yeah,
you know,
it looks right, it feels right. There are so many exciting things that we could do with this. Obviously, we know that, I think it was pigs' bladders used to be used as balls and all the rest of it. We are now looking at dog pipes instead of bagpipes.
amazing.
And
Landon is so looking forward to this. He's been wanting to learn the bagpipes for so long. Of
course.
But it costs so much to buy them, and we're going to do that with we're going to use the bones for the hollow tubes.
Right.
And we carve them out, and nose to tail.
there's something beautiful about that. For me, what we need to do is get our hands on some helium, because I want to see just how light they go, because the skin is incredibly stretchy. So, I mean, it doesn't exactly look like the original dog, right?
No,
I mean, it's
no.
very rotund.
The Pomeranian one is my favorite. It's so
gorgeous.
round.
Yeah. It's just a
perfect.
cloud.
It's going to be great for the fair this year.
Yeah, and so what I want to find out is, can you make balloon animals out of animal balloons? It's going to be so fun.
The wiener dog is
Yeah.
just the long one that we've been breeding for the sausage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just going to be perfect. You would never guess that the tail inflates too.
Right. Like a little handle. And we should talk about Donnie, your nephew, who we talked about in the last podcast. He loves them.
He loves them. Oh my God. Even just inflating them and just putting them around the living room for him to play with.
Yeah.
You know, and he chases them and
Yeah.
with his deep voice.
With just balloons, mommy. Yeah.
Loves them.
Incredible.
Oh my God.
2.5 years old, huge pubic precocity due to the high number of hormones in the meat he's consuming, running around.
He's going to be
Mommy balloon.
He's going to be an amazing, you would call it football, we call it soccer. He's
Yeah.
going to just be so good at
Yeah.
it. His calves are so defined right now that he could just
Yeah.
kick. I mean, he popped that first Pomeranian, just one boot to it, and
Yeah, I saw the video of that.
it's gross.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's like if a garden gnome it was reincarnated as Barry White and
That's
playing with a
Donnie.
dog balloon.
That's Donnie.
So fun. Love it.
Do you think though, if the balloons were around longer, they'd dry out? Because right now the
They will,
mess
certainly.
we did the mess that one left in the living room, we had to replace all the carpet.
I think the thing to think about is as they dry, of course, the hair, the fur falls out. So we got to think about, well, do you leave it on? Do you scorch it off? You know, what's
Well, maybe it's just these are like, similar to helium balloons. They have like a 2-day lifespan, and then you have to go get more.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, dog pinatas. I mean, it goes on and on. I'm so excited. Before you start emailing, they're not commercially available yet. This is just a thing we found this week. So we'll tell you when.
But I definitely want for my when my big 45 comes, I want 45 big balloons, mixed breed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
That's great.
Instagram. That's for the grid,
Yeah.
babe. That's 100% for the grid.
Well, we want to talk a little bit about subsidies, a little bit.
It's been a fantastic week, actually.
It's been a big week. We got our subsidies in from the dog flu outbreak that we had, and we talked about it last time. We got our initial payment, but the largest payment just came in, and the fact that it's taxpayers paying for it,
It's kind of fun, isn't it?
it's really delicious. All the anti-dog meat activists, vegans.
Yeah. Sorry, vegans. You just paid for meat anyway.
Why be vegan at that point? Because you're basically paying for it against your will.
So, because we were saying with bird flu in chickens in the States, I think you told me it was something like $120 million of taxpayers' money.
Just going to one brand, to Genio.
One brand. Okay,
Genio.
fine.
Yeah.
And there is something very, very satisfying, the fact that you can't be vegan. Why bother trying? Because you're paying for meat anyway.
It's similar. I mean, it's similar to just being like, why be anti-war if your money's going to it?
Just enjoy it, guys.
I mean, some fireworks are fun.
A pound of burger meat actually costs $30.
Right.
Right, but it sells for $5, and so that's even without bird flu going on and all the rest of it. You know, meat is hugely, heavily subsidised. I had a quick look because I was curious. In Walmart, a pound of lentils costs $1.92. Right, but so if it was subsidised in the same way, because you can subsidise lentils, who cares about lentils? They don't taste good. So you'd be looking at around 30 cents.
gravel.
Yeah. But actually, dried lentils versus steak, more protein, more iron. But I come back to the question of who actually cares?
Who wants to eat lentils at all? They have absolutely zero flavor.
What sense does any of that make when you can take taxpayers' money and turn $30 a pound meat into $5 a pound meat?
Feed the dogs the lentils,
Oh.
and then, I mean, if the lentils are so cheap, we could feed the lentils to the dogs, and then we could eat the dogs.
I think that the Amazonian soy just makes the meat taste better.
And it makes more sense.
You know what? It tastes great. Clear the Amazon. Like, just turn the whole thing into a ranch for dogs.
I mean, I've never even been to the Amazon.
Who cares?
So if I haven't seen it, why, I mean...
Does it even exist?
How many... That, and also how many people actually get to see the Amazon? It's a waste.
Yeah.
It's just a waste of space down there.
And it's messy and wet and forget it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was talking about lentils and how they contain more protein, more iron than
Yeah.
steak. Speaking of iron,
Right.
how is Landon?
Well, he has, as we said, he's all the side effects of the, what did you call it? What is it, the butter stuff?
Oh, the xanthelasma.
Yeah, the xanthelasma has cleared up completely.
Oh.
It's like it never happened.
That's great.
It's great.
But I bet you missed the free butter.
I mean, we were feeding him more butter to get the amount of butter that came out, but the butter that came out had a Landon essence. And we were thinking, like, you know how they make beer? They make beer from the yeast from people's beards? You know
Do
about
they?
that? Yeah,
What?
in Portland,
Of
Oregon.
course, in Portland.
You can buy beer that has the yeast from the beer maker, and that... Does that bother you?
Putting the beer in beard, or the other way around.
Beard in
no,
beard.
I feel, honestly, I'm going to come out and say it. All beards are vanity. Making beer from beards is like hyper vanity.
It's beer.
Like, I have stubble,
Yes.
right? Which is as long as I let it go. I have stubble because without it, I look like a fat ghost. It's just a fact, right? It's fine, a bit of stubble.
seen this.
But the luxurious, oh, look at my virile beard and my manly hair. And now, oh, drink my beer. No!
I like the idea of them dipping their beard into the
That's
beer.
so gross.
And then you could maybe like wring it out into. I think that's how they probably get the yeast.
Oh, absolutely not.
And then like each kind of like a sourdough starter is you've got some beard beer to make it anyway.
Oh,
So that's what we were doing, thinking about we might do with his hand butter.
okay.
And then we thought that we might sell that at the market, but it dried up too quickly, so that's over. However, I did want to ask you. He's very red right now.
Oh, yeah.
His skin
Yeah.
is so red, and
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. It's like it's lobsterish, like a poinsettia.
Well, I did do some blood work, and it turns out that so vegans, as we know, are all anemic all protein deficient, all B12
Right.
deficient.
In fact, that was a siren going by for
Just to
picking up
rush another one to
vegan.
hospital, yeah. Why bother? Landon is like we've always sort of said he's so not vegan, but he's literally the polar opposite of vegan because he's anti-anemic. I don't know that there's a medical term for it, but he's literally iron over saturated.
Right.
He has, and this is a thing that can happen if you eat too much meat. You can get iron overload, and it can damage the liver. It can damage other organs. But I mean, what I like is he just looks apoplectic all the time.
He looks so mad.
Yeah, and then he smiles. He's like, "Hey, how are you?" You know.
It looks
Are you
like he's
like-
been on a beach in Cabo for a very long time. And I actually think it's also increased by the fact that a lot of it is Irish setters, what he's eating.
Okay, yeah, that
And
makes
it's
sense.
just like, the meat probably absorbs the, what is the hair follicle coloring?
The melatonin.
Yeah,
yeah.
the melanin or whatever. Yeah,
No, one of them.
Yeah, one of the mellow words.
Yeah,
And he does not look mellow.
the mellotron.
Mellotron, yeah, so.
No, it's good. He's got a real sort of Costa del Sol look going on. Yeah, no, it's good.
And it goes well with the sunglasses he does wear on his forehead all the time. Like, it's just...
I was not, when I said that in the last episode, I was not referencing Landon. I wasn't.
Today's episode of TWAT Farm is brought to you in association with our very good friends at Nemaglux Worming Solutions. If you have restless or lethargic livestock, you may have a worm infestation. It's all too common and can lead to underweight animals, which will hit you where it hurts most, in your wallet. Nemaglux is the industry leader in bovine, canine, and porcine worming solutions. Nemaglux powders are odorless and tasteless and certified for use on meat animals in the UK and USA. Every order over $50 includes a free human course of treatment just in case. Winky face. Visit nemaglux.biz/Elwoods for a special deal for listeners to this podcast.
Yes, huge thanks to Nemaglux for that. Now, don't forget, you can always email us. It's podcast@elwooddogmeat.com. We've had some lovely emails this week. This one's from Pete, who says, "Hi guys, really enjoying your show. Thank you. And I'm always looking to improve my cooking skills. I'm particularly interested in learning how to cook the perfect dog chop. What are your go-to tips for achieving juicy, flavorful dog chops? Are there any insider secrets that you would share with your listeners?"
Well, I
Yeah.
can tell you how I do mine. So people often fry them because they can get really dry. But what I like to do is wrap them in tin foil and put them in or what would you call that? Aluminium.
Oh, we call them tinfoil.
Tin foil, right. I wrap it in that and I put it in the oven so that way it keeps all the juices inside.
Ah, okay. And would you put any garlic in there? I don't know.
Probably garlic and some sage as well as more garlic.
Yeah, always more
More
garlic.
garlic, yeah.
What, you vegan?
No.
I would say, yeah, I think your tip is absolutely right. I do like chops, but you have to remember that they're usually taken from the spine, so they've got a piece of the animal's vertebrae in there. That's kind of what you're eating, and so it's
Landon always asks for that little chunk.
it's a bit of someone's back, and when you think of like how much strength you have to have in your back, it's a very lean muscle, and that can lead to dryness because there's less fat in it. So yeah, I'm with you. I will say Gordon Ramsay, he pan-sears his chops,
He does.
but then he has gone a bit weird and vegan. You've got to ask yourself, is it because he wasn't cooking his chops right? Is that what drove him to it?
Well, I saw him recently representing a vegan butter.
Yeah.
He knows.
I know.
He just
What the hell happened?
he knows what side his bread's buttered on. Is that the phrase here?
Yeah,
and
but
it
it's
might
not
be-
butter, so don't call it butter.
No, he knows what side it's planted.
Yeah.
Something.
Weirdo.
Well, we have some more of your death threats that we'd like to share.
Nice.
So Steve in Carshalton.
Carshalton, I think that is.
Carshalton.
No, but don't worry, no one in Britain knows where that is.
Steve in Carshalton.
You're like, I will say, Steve, thank you for writing in. And where the hell is Carshalton? It's one of those things you hear on the radio or on TV. Like, no one knows where it is.
Carshalton. Stephen Carshalton says, I would like to turn you into them little pots of sandwich paste.
Oh, yeah.
Like the sardine and tomato ones you used to get. I reckon you'd fill around 350 jars.
Do you know that stuff?
No.
Okay, so that's, they were called, was it No, they weren't called sandwich fritters. They were called paste. I mean, it was literally sardine and tomato paste, and there's these tiny little jars about the size of 2 film canisters. You remember, like, old
Yes.
photographic
Yes.
film? Like 2 of those stacked one on top of the other. Tiny little jars. There'd be sardine and tomato. I can't remember the other flavours. It was probably like chicken and sweet corn or something.
He wants us
Quite an intense flavour.
He wants us put into those.
It would take a long time.
350 of them.
I think he'd enjoy it.
I think, you know what, he needs to come out and help us make our little tiny sausages when we make them with the chihuahuas.
baby
The
ones,
little ones, the little, like Vienna sausages.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we put them in also cans of tomato paste. And we
Yes.
can them and sell them.
Sounds good.
Delicious.
Dylan in Vancouver has a death threat for us. He says, I would feed you to the dogs and then I'd wait until they shit and then I would shoot the shit and then I would scrape it up and hang it and then I would take it to Chernobyl. Thank you. Top marks for thoroughness there.
All right. Would it be still nuclear active at Chernobyl?
I think some of it. If you went deep enough, I think there'd be some dividend there.
I think that there could be also some money in selling some like nuclear,
The dog meat.
yes, glowy dog meat.
Yeah, putting the Pluto in plutonium.
Excellent. Do you want to do the one from Rachel?
Rachel Lees just says dog AIDS. Cheers, Rachel. Appreciate that. Very nice indeed. Please keep your death threats coming.
By the way, our dogs do not have AIDS.
No.
I mean, we have helpers, but no AIDS.
Podcast at elwooddogmeat.com
Right.
for your death threats and recipe requests.
I have a real voicemail left by somebody who's calling the farm, and unlike what we just read out, this one is unsolicited and real. So let me pull this one up.
Okay.
Oh gosh, here we go. You haven't heard this one yet, have
No,
you?
I haven't. I'm always
Okay,
excited.
Here we go.
It's always nice. A little thrill of, because this is a slightly new world to me.
Okay, here we go.
You guys are sick in the head. You raise dogs to kill, to eat, and take their puppies away, to not drink the milk. You're some kind of sick cult. There's a big difference between a cow and a dog.
What?
A dog sits on your lap. A dog is loyal. A dog plays ball. A cow doesn't. I hope karma comes your way sick.
Karma comes our way sick.
Sick. Did she mean that like sick?
Sick. I think she did. And actually, that was not the one I meant to show you.
Okay, I enjoyed it because
Tell
I
me more
will
about
say
this.
empirically, I have seen cows and calves do all of the things she describes: playing with balls, sitting on laps, coming when you call. Like, actually, there's no intrinsic difference at all. So if it's a cult, it's a pretty much global cult.
It is.
You got to ask yourself, what's her name, Rachel?
Rachel.
Yeah, is it you or is it everybody else?
All right, here's the one I meant to show you.
Okay, cool.
Here we go.
Hey, you guys are pieces of shit. I'm gonna find you guys. And when I find you guys, I'm gonna try my hardest to shut you guys down. Don't you understand that f***ing dogs should not be eaten? They're domesticated pets. I get cow, I get chicken. Why the f*** are you doing this to dogs? You guys are pieces of shit. Nobody likes you. I bet all of you guys are single and live a horrible life. So when I go to your f***ing business, be ready. Stupid, dumb f***ing bitch.
Wow, I love that. What a child! It's so sweet. It's such a childish thing to make these sort of arbitrary distinctions about these animals are better than these ones and blah blah. It's very sweet, but it's unbelievably naive.
It is. I mean, when we get down to the biology of things, I don't know where you actually get to the line of where a cow is not a dog. Like,
Yeah.
neither of them feel pain.
No.
Neither of them can understand relationships or have a relationship with a human.
No. And they're not capable of sort of thinking in the same way as humans. And if you're going to anthropomorphize like that, then that's on you. That's not on us.
Also, he must not be listening to the podcast because he doesn't know about Landon.
Right.
And that
Exactly.
we're delightful people.
Yeah.
And fun at parties.
a lot of fun at parties.
Right.
Do invite us. We're up for it.
Yeah, that's all we have time for today.
It's kind of everything that we scraped together.
Yeah. So I think that's it. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Also, don't forget, if you do want more, why don't you head over to patreon.com/ElwoodFarms, where if you join us and support us, you get all sorts of fun bonus stuff, t-shirts, stickers, and extra stuff, voice notes from the farm, which I will say are quite a lot of fun. But yes, in the meantime, that is it. Don't forget to email us. It's podcast@elwooddogmeat.com.
We also, again, your death threats, if you would like to send us one,
Please
leave it on social, or you can call us, and the phone number is at the bottom of our website, elwooddogmeat.com.
And if you're listening to this, you could actually watch the episode on YouTube too, so check that out too. All right.
That's it.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
This week at the farm.